Hey, this is AC Locke here, and this is Building a Lifestyle Business, and this is Aloha time, I guess. We've got Randy and Roger Kaikula. Did I get that right?
Yes.
All right, good.
Perfect.
Good, excellent, because I'm so worried about mispronouncing names. It's awful. And so you guys are with Tiki SoftWash, and kind of tell us about the area where you guys service. You're another one of our California companies.
That's right. We're in Rancho Cucamonga, California. It's more of the Southern California area, San Bernardino County, right next to LA County, just to kind of give people perspective. And we're about 2 hours north of San Diego. So, that's where we're at. There's a lot of work to do out in this area. So that's why we are in a good spot.
And that's another thing that's always Rancho Cucamonga. It's like, wow. I can't get over the pronunciations. It just drives me crazy. I guess I'm too Southeast United States. And
I get it. I've actually had somebody, on a Zoom call ask me, is that a real place? I know that it did come out in one of the movies. I think it was Friday with Ice Cube. I think they talked about Rancho Cucamonga, but it's a real place, man. It's a weird name, but it's a real place.
It's been in TV shows a couple times.
Yeah. Very, very cool. And so tell me about you guys. Give me a little bit of biographical information. I know you guys have a very distinctive Hawaiian theme going on and a very kind of distinctive Hawaiian last name. So give us the background on all of this and, where do you guys come from and what do you like to do and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you want to start off with your bio?
Sure. Well, I drove a truck for 34 years and got to the end of it to where it was like, I'm not happy with this anymore. Well, it wasn't really that I wasn't happy. It was just I was done doing that. I've been in it for a long time. Randy and I talked about it, and he said, well, let's figure that out. And then he called me up one day and said, let's go to lunch. I need to talk to you about something. And he found this. And that's how that kind of came about. We thought about it for a long time, and then we sat and talked about it for quite a long time.
Absolutely.
And then when we said, okay, we're going to jump into this, is when I was like, perfect, because I don't want to be on the road anymore. I was done.
But that's not the non-softwashy stuff. We're talking business here and everything else. Where are you guys from? Give me the background. The non-softwashy stuff.
Non-softwashy stuff.
Yeah.
Age, everything.
I am 61. Yeah. Been with my wife for 27 years. We met at a bar that actually she was running karaoke at. And now
awesome. Love karaoke.
Yeah. I've been doing it for 27 years.
Awesome.
Yeah. And she had weird sayings to me all night long, and I didn't really want anything to do with her. And then she took the book away and said, if you're not going to sing, and she walked off. I'm like, wait, no. I walked up to her and said, well, I guess I'll sing a song. And that's how it all started.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. So I'm 54 and been with my wife now coming up on 18 years. We have a 14-year-old and he's attending. He's a freshman this year. And so he's attending Western Christian Academy. It's awesome, man. It's going to be a really, really cool 4 years for him.
Wow.
We're kind of looking forward to that. He's been kind of my hobby for ever since he was born. But baseball and coaching and all that stuff is awesome. I do have 2 older daughters from previous marriage, and I have 3 grandkids. So love it, man. And I'm having a blast with that.
Getting a new puppy tomorrow.
Well, yeah, we're also getting a new puppy.
Oh, what kind of dog are you getting?
What was that?
What kind of dog are you getting?
So we have a golden retriever now, and we're getting a golden doodle tomorrow. So we did put it on Facebook. Dina, my wife, was sitting in the middle of all of them, and she had it's her turn to pick. So she picked a cutie, man. So we pick them up tomorrow. It's gonna be cool. We're excited.
Well, we're on dogs, so I have grand dogs, and Karen and I have a cat because we travel too much to have dogs. But of course, my daughter Elle and her husband, they have a English pointer.
Oh, that's
beautiful,
cool.
beautiful dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
His name is Ziggs. Ziggs loves me. He loves me so much that he jumped up on the bed, rolled all over my Top Gun jacket, and peed all over it.
Oh,
And believe it or not, that was his sign of affection. I've understand.
Yeah, that's how they show it. Exactly.
Yeah. And but Ziggs is beautiful, has all the freckles on him. He's just a beautiful dog, and just muscle, man. Just not an ounce of fat on him.
Yeah.
And then Deirdre came with a golden retriever.
Oh yeah.
So another golden, and her name is Layla, like the song Layla. And so then when Deirdre and AJ got married, they went ahead and adopted another dog, and she is a King Charles Terrier. And so kind of remember Lady and the Tramp, the Disney movie? Lady was a King Charles Terrier. And so she's beautiful, and her name is Roxanne from the song Roxanne. So, she's cute. The one dog that my wife and I saw that we might like, because we like smaller dogs, big dogs kind of, hard to get on boats and stuff like that, was they took a King Charles Terrier and a poodle and crossed them. And so it's I forget what they called it, but it's, got hair instead of fur, and it's curly, but it's the size of a King Charles with the loppy ears and everything else. And they are just so cute. Oh my goodness. But yeah.
I actually didn't want another dog. And then my wife showed me the puppies and I couldn't take it. It was too much. It was too much.
Yeah, but, fine. I'll spend $1,500 on a dog.
Yeah,
exactly.
We have 4 ourselves, and we have small ones, but then I have a 9-month-old Belgian Malinois.
Oh, really? Wow.
And he's a monster.
Yeah.
He's actually mixed with a Great Pyrenees.
Oh, wow, he wasn't big enough so that you went ahead and got some Great Pyrenees in there. Yeah. So what kind of vacuum cleaner do you own?
Right. Actually, it's
a couple of them, right?
Yeah. I usually go behind the door. I'm like, oh, there's another dog back here.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. It's like your mattress is really soft. Oh yeah, it's from every time we empty the vacuum cleaner. We just put it in the mattress.
Exactly. You don't need to worry about it. It's got. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Unreal. Well, that's cool. And so you guys have a real Hawaiian kilt on everything that you do. Are you guys originally from Hawaii? Or?
Yes. We are from Lahaina, Maui, and unfortunately, it burned down. We were just talking to a customer this morning, and we had a job that we did this morning, and she absolutely loved Maui when she visited. And so that was a big conversation, and talking about how it's never going to be the same now. My understanding is they're looking more to create a smart city or something like that, is what they've been talking about, is what I've heard. So unfortunately, that'll take away a lot of the traditional feel about that whole city there. And luckily, our grandmother, which is Tutu, is buried right there on Front Street in a very small cemetery. And so Front Street's a big, big place where everybody goes.
Right.
One of the places everybody goes there in Lahaina. And so my wife and I were married in Lahaina, or on Maui, and we stayed there in Lahaina. It was a really, really cool place. And we're just a little, worried that they're not going to do it justice.
Yeah. And I've talked to other people. Of course, we've got actual SoftWash companies there on the islands. Yeah. And Donovan's over there. And he said that because the property is so valuable that the people can't rebuild on it. Like the big thing on Hawaii was multi-generational houses that were passed down and passed down and passed down.
Exactly.
And that allowed people that aren't slathered in money, super wealthy people, if you weren't super wealthy, that allowed you to live on that island. But that the houses were destroyed and everything. They're just big conglomerates now just coming in and buying up all the land. And it's just going to completely change the kind of homey feel that Hawaii once had. And it's just going to make it very, very, very tourism. And like you said, a smart city. Who wants to go to Hawaii and see a smart city or live in a smart city or whatever? That's not what we want out of Hawaii.
And you're going to take away the look of it and everything, and it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same at all, unfortunately. But, that's where we're from. And so we kind of brought that same feel into our business. And we wanted to keep that sort of theme going. And so that's where Tiki came from. Tiki is our mascot. And that's, we kind of went with that because we felt that it would be able to give us that little Polynesian type of feel. Mm-hmm. You guys, I could tell you that SoftWash Systems, Madeline absolutely
totally
nailed it. We were so happy with it. When we saw it, we were blown away.
The wrap, the shirts.
We get compliments on our brand all the time. And it's just, it's incredible. It's an incredible.
Oh, you guys could totally sell your shirts. And people off the street would just buy them.
We actually, we talked about it. We were at a taco place and the guy goes, "Hey, I need one of your shirts." I'm like, "What?"
We get that.
Not for sale.
It's definitely a great brand. We've really built the great brand in our community, and people really enjoy it.
Yeah. So I remember when you guys came down to discover SoftWash and all, and I know this is kind of SoftWashy, but I remember it's a good segue into this. When you guys first came down to discover SoftWash, you were planning on calling the company something else. I can't remember, but I remember I talked you out of it. What were you going to call it?
Yeah. You were saying that, hey, because it was going to be called Maui Bros SoftWash.
Maui Bros, that's right. Yes.
You mentioned the fact that there's going to be a geographical issue with that, and I think you were right. But talking us into rebranding was probably the best thing that we could have ever done. We already had the mascot, and so guys, your suggestion was brand around the mascot, and so I think that was probably the best thing that we could have done.
Yeah, because you have. Yeah, were you calling him Tiki by that point, or did we just? Yeah. And so I remember you showed us the mascot. And I went, well, that's what you need to call your company. It's Tiki's. It's Tiki's your guy. It's Tiki SoftWash, and and
made total sense.
Yep. Yeah. And so
it sounded better, anyways.
Yeah, and you can find there's so many things and novelties and stuff that you can find of little Tikis and stuff like that. Tiki, they probably have Tiki stress balls, and it's hard to find stuff that's Maui, and people would have been like, why did Maui show up on my Google search? I mean, I don't need to call a company in Maui,
Right.
And so I remember that whole conversation, and that's one of the things we really try to do at SoftWash Systems, to steer all these companies to the right place. So the brand has really been singing for you guys, and it really attracts people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've definitely gotten calls just from our truck driving around. In fact, we got a job where this one customer called and said, "Hey, I couldn't remember the name of the company, but I remembered the Tiki on the side of the truck. And I Googled Tiki cleaning company, and you guys popped right up." So that, worked out perfect.
That's the plan, right?
That is the plan.
That is the plan. All right. So now you started into talking about being a truck driver and all that kind of stuff, and going to lunch. And so what made you really decide that you guys wanted to be entrepreneurs?
Dad was an entrepreneur his whole life. So in Hawaii, he owned a lawnmower business, maintenance business. And so he was one of the guys who figured out there's a product that you can put on the elements of the lawnmower that would keep it from rusting quickly. So people were calling it. Plus, he had this whole setup in his van where he would sharpen the blades and all kinds of work right there for the customer. And so we watched him as an entrepreneur our whole life.
Yeah.
We moved out here. He ended up opening a lawnmower shop in Ontario. Out here. And so we kind of grew up watching him be an entrepreneur. So that's kind of where that came from. Unfortunately, like for myself, I worked in corporate for a lot of years. And at one point, I'll try not to get too far off base, but COVID kind of changed everything for me. I'll just say I refused to take the vaccine at one point. So one of our customers pushed me out because I refused to do that. And so that's sort of what changed my path. He was already on the, hey, I'm burned out on this. I don't want to do this anymore. So that's how we got, we ended up getting together like that.
Well, that's a totally legitimate reason, is because when you do work for somebody else, you don't have a lot of choice. You're not as in control of your schedule and everything else. And And the government did come in and mandate for a while that if you were unvaccinated, you couldn't go to work. And it just kind of stunk that our freedom of choice was taken away from us. And we try not to get too political on this, but I thought it was supposed to be about choice, for crying out loud. And now you're turning around and telling me I can't have a choice. I mean, are we pro-choice? Are we not pro-choice? And that's as political as I'm going to get for the next 30 seconds at least. But but then you go, dadgummit, if I can't have a choice, then I'm going to start my own gig where I have a choice. I have freedoms. I can do my own thing. Mm-hmm. So you guys went out to lunch and started discussing doing a business together. Tell me how that goes, how two brothers say, well, okay, let's go into business together.
So we sat at lunch one day and said, hey, man, I'm done. He's like, I'm burned out. And what can we do? We molded things around for a while and then both went back to work. And then about 2 weeks later, he called me up and said, hey, let's go to dinner. I got something to talk to you about. And lo and behold, SoftWash Systems. And sat and talked about that for a little while, actually for a long while. And then ended up pulling the plug right away, because as soon as we went down and we did everything we needed to do to have the money to do all the stuff that we needed to do that to get into SoftWash Systems, I was done. I was out the door. I never looked back. And it's been like that ever since.
Yeah. So one of the things that you guys probably don't know is we had so much confidence in SoftWash Systems when we showed up to discover SoftWash. I watched a ton of YouTube videos of you discussing SoftWash. And so that's kind of how we discovered SoftWash through YouTube. We are obviously looking for a business, a viable business, something that's tangible we could start that makes sense. And he had a lot of experience working with a contractor. He had been doing a lot of pressure washing, but I didn't want to just bring pressure washing. There's so many different pressure washing companies out here. In fact, out here in California, that's, one of the pressure washing is one of the main services that people provide to clean roofs and do house washes. And so when you're talking about SEO, that's one of the key words, pressure washing, power washing. So since we've been here, we've been doing SEO and really kind of pushing SoftWash this whole time that we've been in business, because we want to be known as a soft washing company. We don't want to be as a pressure washing company. Though that's been sort of, our Achilles heel in a way, because we're not hitting those keywords. We have started building it, but that's kind of what happened. We were watching a bunch of YouTube videos and we saw the value in SoftWash. And then we also saw the value in what SoftWash Systems had. Why recreate the wheel? You guys already had everything. So it just made...
And the products.
Yeah, it just made sense.
Yeah. I had owned a detail business along with when I was driving.
Yeah.
For like 7 years. So I kind of knew a lot about the pressure washing stuff, just never... The contractor I worked for, I didn't like doing any pressure washing. He'd always want me to pressure wash a house. I didn't like that because it was too damaging. So, and then we found SoftWash.
It just made sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of people find us, and they watch a lot of videos, and you had that high level of confidence for being able to get started. So you come to discover SoftWash, already high level of confidence. What was your Discover SoftWash experience? I mean, we talked a little bit about it with the logo and everything, but talk about that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. It was awesome, actually. We learned a lot while we were there, and that's really kind of what we were there for, is to see whether or not this would be the best way to go. I mean, we kind of already knew, but just to be able to be there and do it was incredible. And then to see the effects or what comes after SoftWash, and once you SoftWash, in fact, we got a chance to SoftWash a fence, wood fence. Yeah. And you see, the outcome is like, wow, that's like night and day. Then you see the value that you have. And then, the SoftWashing the house, the roof, we're killing the magma. You see this huge difference. It's like a dramatic change. And so there's a lot of value there to offer your customers. That's a big deal. You're sanitizing the whole surface of the house, and you're making a massive change. That's value. That's something you can sell and stand behind.
So, I'm curious. Today we've got, I think, 3 companies that I've interviewed from California today on the podcast. And one of the things I've noticed is when I look at my companies that are going up the West Coast, and we've got several in California now and a few up in Washington, Oregon, how well you guys are doing. Really, honestly, we call it the left coast, in political environments and in states that are not very friendly to business.
I feel it.
Yeah. And so it seems like you guys are doing pretty well. So how long have you been doing soft washing now?
Now for 2.5 years. We're coming up on our third year.
Coming up on your third year. So your first year, your first full calendar year, not your partial year when you started. Your first calendar year, what did you revenue? What were your gross revenues, if you don't mind sharing?
I'll be straight up honest. It was probably around 50,000, maybe.
Okay.
I think it was a little lower than that, to be honest with you. We did. I'll be real. We struggled our first year.
We did.
There's a lot of reasons for that. There was confidence reasons. There was trying to figure out how to sell something new. Something in an area where nobody really knew much about. We do have to educate every single customer we come across. So, without coming to the customer with what's the snake oil you guys are trying to sell? People, that's how people think. And it's something completely new that they've never heard of before. This is unfortunately what people think. So you have to really sell the value behind SoftWash and the services that you provide. So we definitely.
I do remember that now, as you're saying that, I do remember sitting in a parking lot down in Southeast Florida. I was getting ready to go in to eat lunch somewhere, and they had put an appointment on my schedule to talk to you guys. I remember when I talked to you guys were pretty discouraged, wondering how you're going to get the phone to ring. Advertising wasn't happening and stuff. Yeah. And it was one of those talking you off the ledge calls, if I remember right.
That's and right.
So I guess a lot has happened since then. Second full calendar year, how have you done?
A lot better. But it's still a struggle with because basically we chose SEO for the long game and then using organic marketing to market. Right. But it's difficult. I think, honestly, what I've learned is when you're starting something new like this, especially when it's something really new that nobody knows much about, you have to get to the masses. So I don't know, maybe lead generation is something we've been talking about seriously, just to see if we can get out more and get to more people that need to hear what SoftWash is and we have to offer. Mm-hmm. Because what we have to offer is something awesome. And it's now I've gotten to the points where it's really easy for me to sell. I'm sure there's a lot more that I can learn, but I'm a lot stronger than I was when I first started. And so,
that's a very transformative process that you do have to go through.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. We both have gotten a lot stronger. When we first started out, there's a lot of stumbling, because you're not really 100% on confidence. You're not really 100% on your information. But once we got educated more, and then it's also one of those things, AC, when you have to believe in what you're selling. Mm-hmm. And so if you're unconfident, we had to actually see it. And with the type of fungus analogy we have out here, absolutely saw it in discovery, just a dramatic change with the magma. But out here, it takes 6 months to 7, almost a year, like you were saying, for this type of fungus analogy to go away off the roof or
the weather off. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah,
I think I described it to you guys, and you didn't necessarily. When you were leaving to go back home, I said you got to understand what you guys have there. Is your marine layer comes in and gives everything moisture in the morning, and it opens up, but then after that, it turns into like a roly-poly bug and turns into a ball on the roof. And it's almost like an impenetrable fortress,
Yeah.
And you just have a different, much more robust, almost like Darwinian kind of survival of the fittest stuff that's growing out there. It's not like the Pacific Northwest where it's all leafy and open and soft and fleshy. It's literally like, a crusty stuff growing on the roof.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So what we've learned is now is that once we apply the solutions, SoftWash solutions, the sodium hypochlorite actually not just affects the root system, but it dries out the environment that this helps this stuff to grow. So I got videos of after the fact, and I'm just rubbing my hand over the remnants of the fungus and algae, and it just crumbles. And so that's the purpose of the whole service, is to just not just to kill the root system, but also to take away the environment so it can stop growing.
Right. And so you mentioned you've been doing better with sales. I can't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you guys go to sales and marketing boot camp?
I have not. And so it's something I'm going to do online, which I appreciate you guys putting that
Yeah, we now have it online. Yes.
Yeah. So we can do the school online, which is what I'm going to do. I'm also in the process of getting my contractor's license right now. So I'm really hyper focused on that, but definitely want to do
because California's come in and added that now that you have to get a contractor's license to do this service.
It's tough out here with those types of things, like you said, politics and whatnot, but it's something that it's been around for a long while, but they don't really push hard on it. I think it's something it's a better way for us in SoftWash systems, or all of us out here SoftWashing to all go get our contractors licenses and just be in that way with our business, keep our businesses going that way.
Mm. And so you've gotten much, much better at presenting, explaining to the customer how the process is going to happen, and you're starting to win jobs. Tell me about some of the size of the jobs that you guys are winning now.
Okay, so like for example, today was a $1,500 job, but to be honest, our tickets are right around averaging about $900. I think we could do a lot better than that. But I'm just being honest about what the average is. They go up and down. And so they'll be between $1,900 to $1,800. Yeah. And we do need to work on the numbers, but once we get that down, I think we'll be in a really good place.
And so how is you've created a business, it's revenuing, it's making some money. How is it? Is it still the two of you guys selling and doing the work? It's just the two of you guys in the business?
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. So yes, and I'm telling you, I know you like to talk about disc tests and stuff like that. So mine, I was a DI. And so I'm very much want to have an employee. So the company I worked for before, I would have had the opportunity to manage 12 employees, and I did a lot of hiring for that company because that company was growing so fast, and we ended up doing a lot of hiring. So we just hired an employee in the beginning of the month, and unfortunately, he only lasted 2 weeks. So we made it very clear.
If only it was that easy to get rid of the fungus, right?
I know. It'd be great.
Yeah, wow. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome, right?
Very much loved having an employee here because it really made a huge difference. But unfortunately, it wasn't. He wasn't able to take care of the heights, handle the heights, and so that was something that was very much discussed in the interviews. But I guess he embellished in the interview, and once he got up there, we saw him struggling.
He struggled pretty hard.
So just being on a ladder, just a 2-story ladder, he couldn't take it. So unfortunately,
and that's just spraying off the ladder. So he was hugging onto the ladder and one hand spraying, but he wasn't doing it the right way, and was like under the ladder.
Yeah, it was.
Well, he probably couldn't change a tire or his oil either. So
I don't know, man. But
I feel bad for him. It's sad that he. It's okay.
We try to give him a chance. They tell him, give you a 90-day, and we'll see how you do. We'll see if you can pull out of that. But he just decided I can't do it. And he's
right. Yeah, and that is a big thing, is developing your company and your leadership style and everything to be able to attract the right people to build your business.
Exactly.
It's certainly a thing. So you guys are deriving an income, the two of you guys, from the business. How is that going?
It's hard.
It is.
Like we go back and forth. Sometimes we have good weeks and we have bad weeks. And,
Right.
I think with us both being on the truck makes it difficult because, like yesterday, for example, I was able to be off the truck and I was able to focus on sales.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm good at, so that's where my strengths are. I need to be in that arena and I need to be able to use myself in the business that way. And, but both of us being on the truck, it's tough.
Yeah. It's been pretty tough
because we will focus a lot on sales and then, it gets real busy and then it slows down because we're doing all the jobs. You know what I mean?
No, it can be. And that's part of the struggle growing the business is you got to get off the truck so that you can sell. You have to feed the beast. You have to get in there and you have to get that pipeline of business coming. And if you're in the truck for a few days a week and then out trying to sell and in the truck for a few days a week, you're doing this lurky jerky, type of kind of roller coaster. We're not doing good. We're not doing good. We're doing good. We're not doing good. And so, you have to grow out of that. And you've got the tools and the resources with SoftWash systems to help you see through that path to grow out of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is next for you guys now? Where do you see growing this business?
I mean, the next step for us really is to get off the truck. Yeah. And that's really what we're kind of focused on. We have other people, like, for example, my wife would be a tremendous move for us to be able to have some of her caliber in business working for us would be awesome. I know Rick and his wife make a great team. Jamie is an awesome person in their business, and she does a lot in their business to help. I think my wife would be awesome for us as well. So it's those types of goals that we have to be able to transition and that way I can get off the truck, Raj can get off the truck, and we can focus on growing the business.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the big key is finding the crew to get on the truck to free you guys up, to create the revenues so that you can pull in the other family members. Like Rick and Jamie with Midwest SoftWash out in St. Louis. Yeah. She's a tremendous asset.
Oh man,
Rick is the bull, DI, go out and clean and do everything. And Jamie's great at sales and handling the office and the books and all. And that's part of building a lifestyle business is pulling your family in, because if you can pull your family into it, you go, hey, we want to take a vacation for this 2 weeks. Absolutely. You don't have to clear it with two different bosses. You look at each other and go, hey, do we want to take a vacation that 2 weeks? If everybody works for the same companies on the same schedule and all, it makes it a whole lot easier to have that great lifestyle for sure.
Yeah, that's the dynamic we're working towards. Hopefully we can get there, and we're going to push hard. We're definitely not afraid to be out here working our butts off to do that and get it done.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And so, if you were to tell somebody else that is considering getting into soft washing with SoftWash systems, what would be your message to them?
You give them your message and I'll give them mine.
Full on into it, because what I took away from it when we came down there for all of your class, I had an awesome time.
Yeah.
All of the notes and stuff that you gave and all the classes we did with you, anybody that can get that kind of knowledge, I mean, I would shove somebody right towards that. I mean, we've had, we've had people ask us about it. Once they kind of know about it, it's like, what is SoftWash? When you explain it to them, the next time I've seen one particular person, they asked us about it again. So to me, to have somebody to say, hey, would you get into this business? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I would push you right into it too, because I think it's a great business. You just have to know what you're getting into.
Yeah. For me, it's been a lot. We were fired up when we came back from Top Gun. That was an awesome experience. Yeah. Top Gun was sick. The training we got was priceless. You can't put money on that. It's for us, especially if you're investing in a truck, like the type of skid that you have, that's right. Great. you got one, but do you know how to use it?
Exactly.
And so that's a big deal, And so that training was just, you can't put anything money on that. But when I talk to, people that are looking to get in this business, in fact, there's a gentleman out here that's looking to get into this business, and he's looking forward to working with SoftWash Systems. He actually asked me to lunch and kind of talk to him like I talk to a customer in terms of the value that it brings. And so when you're talking to a customer, well, where's the value? It's in the 5-year warranty that we can provide to the customers. It's in the solutions that are all biodegradable, safe for the environment, safe for your house, for your pets, safe for your family. Mm-hmm. It's in the values in the equipment that SoftWash Systems provides, so that we can apply our solutions safely and effectively. There's so much value than there is, versus pressure washing. So when I speak to a customer, this is how I speak to a customer.
Yeah.
And so this gentleman that's looking to get into soft washing is going to be really cool. It'll be great for us to have that relationship, that we can work together as a team and build off of each other. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's so much work for us to do out here. It's going to be an awesome thing for him to get in. So I'm really looking forward to that happening. But that's what I would say to somebody moving in or trying to get into this business.
And as a matter of fact, he's called you several times.
Oh, yeah.
He just keeps calling him.
Great
hey,
guy.
what about this? Hey, what about
Great
that?
Guy, I'm sure. He did get out to discover SoftWash, I believe. He got a chance to meet you. So he told me all about that. It's great.
Good. What area of California is he in?
He's in the same area as we are. So we're going to figure it out.
You're going to figure it out. Well, what a lot of people don't realize is competition isn't bad, because what you guys are doing, what you mentioned earlier, is you're talking about building the SEO off of soft washing, not using the keywords of pressure washing, not going after the same jobs as pressure washers, not getting invited out to bid on the same jobs that everybody else is getting invited to bid on. And when you have a second company out there that's doing the same thing as you, using the same keywords and everything, they start to build off of each other. But if the two of you guys show up to a job as SoftWash Systems licensed affiliates, and then a non-SoftWash Systems licensed affiliate shows up, then it looks like soft washing is the norm, and the person that's doing pressure washing or downstream injection, calling it soft washing, they look like the odd man out. Right now, if two of the local competitors that are pressure washers show up and one SoftWash Systems licensed affiliate shows up, you kind of look like the space alien, odd person out, like, that's different, But having another SoftWash Systems affiliate in your area really helps to redouble the marketing, doing home shows together, splitting the costs on stuff, educating the area. And, that when the tide rises in the harbor, all ships rise. But then, when you both show up to a job, well, 2/3 of the time, a SoftWash Systems licensed affiliate is going to win that job now, not 1/3 of the time. And then you're able to get your prices up too, because then two companies are coming in at a higher price. And one of the reasons why you're struggling a little bit with getting the pricing up in your area is because you don't have somebody else giving the same price you are. So the consumer is thinking, well, everybody just charges this price. Well, you get another company out there charging your price, and you can start eking it up. It starts to become a little more normalized.
Exactly.
And you get paid what you're actually worth, not paid what the rent-a-drunk wants to charge.
That's the whole point.
Exactly.
That's the goal, right?
That's our goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah. That's very cool. Very cool. Well, interesting conversation. I mean, is there anything that you guys would add?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, just the fact that we've been able to grow in an industry that didn't know anything about us, didn't know anything about Tiki SoftWash, didn't know anything about SoftWash.
Didn't know anything about SoftWash.
And we continue to push forward and grow that. That says a lot, I think. Yeah. And so we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. I mean, just from the logo to the truck wrap to the uniforms to the just marketing in general, and then the education, it's just incredible. We appreciate it, and we absolutely love being with you guys. We thank you guys so much. We couldn't do this without you.
Well, we love having you guys on board too. And it is a great brand. We love it for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if you want to have your own great brand or jump into soft washing like Randy and Roger here, and you're thinking about how to build a lifestyle business, something that will support you, give you freedom, give you the ability to decide, what you want to do with your time, or whether or not, in his particular case, whether or not you want to be vaccinated or not. Listen, we all have choices in life, and we want to have more control of our destiny, whatever that destiny might be. You may want to consider starting your own business, and starting your own business with SoftWash Systems makes it easy. It's been easy for you guys, right?
Yes, absolutely.
At least the starting the business part.
Exactly.
But it is hard work too, but that hard work can be rewarding. And if you want to do that, you can give us a call at SoftWash Systems. We'd certainly love to talk to you guys. But Randy, Roger, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And we're just excited to see how you guys grow and see more great things happening for you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much.
All right. So if you liked this, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and share it. Go ahead and subscribe so that you can get alerted when more of Building a Lifestyle Business podcasts are released. And as always, guys, this is AC Lockyer. Go forth and prosper.